For Christmas, my kids got me some really cool exotic hardwood from Mexico. They didn't go to Mexico. They went to Woodcraft up in Toledo. It's something called Chechen. They bought 2 batches of wood. One was pre-cut, partially planed or rough planed wood that was ready to go. The other was from a bunch of cut-offs and scraps. And the store wasn't exactly sure what it was because it was still pretty rough, but I'm almost positive that it also was Chechen because I've gone through the whole process and finished a shell just shy of doing the finish. Let me show you. So there is the drum shell. That is a 14 by 7 and it's a 1/2 inch thick. This is the new stuff. So Woodcraft, Chechen. From what I understand, that was the least expensive of the of the nice hardwoods there. And I should have enough to make a second drum of comparable size. If you're interested in making a snare drum, or any drum really, there is a website that has a stave calculator. It's fantastic, check this out. Okay, you see that? uniontownlabs.org/tools/stave. And all you have to do is enter the number of staves you want to use. It calculates board feet and how much it's going to cost you and all that kind of stuff if you want to do it that way. But I need to figure out how many staves I need for the size drum that I want to do. And based on the wood that I've got over there, I can do 13 staves. That's based on how wide the smallest of my 3 boards is. So I can do 13 staves, and at 13 staves, the top width has to be 3.48 inches, and each bevel is going to be 13.8 degrees. I don't have much of a table saw. The fence doesn't work very well, so I have to measure on both sides of the blade. I don't feel like I can justify buying myself really fancy tools until I know what I'm doing and can use the tools that I've got. So this is the table saw that I borrowed from my dad. It's an old Craftsman, pretty small, not particularly accurate, but it cuts a straight line. That's good enough for me. So here we go. Makeshift sled built from some scraps that I picked up from my dad. Again, doesn't look like much, but it's nice and tight in the miter slots, and it runs square. So that's good enough for me, once again. You like my outfeed table? I need 13 of those guys. I've got 14 plus most of a spare. This one's not quite perfect because it's a little bit off there. But I cut these all deliberately long because I have to mill it flat. So for a 7-inch drum, I'm cutting about 7 3/8, like I said. That should be plenty. And now it's time to cut them to width, and then I will bevel the edges. And in my tradition of high quality tools, push stick push stick. The tricky part. I'm gonna cut the bevel on each piece, on each stave. Got to be 13.8 degrees. Now, because I don't have a lot of tools, I got to be careful about how I do the next step. I've got one perfectly straight edge right here, and obviously one very rough edge from the lumber yard over here. I need to make sure that I run this edge through first so that my bevels are perfectly parallel. Dust collection system would be really nice. My air filter has been working fine, but the dust filters are completely full. You got one of these? Digital reader? Good stuff. And the last 2 times I've gotten it exactly after I measured it. So let's go with 103.8. Here we go. I'm not touching a tooth when I'm measuring. Yeah, that's it. All right, off we go. 15's good, like I said, because this gives me an opportunity to swap pieces out whenever I'm lining them up, because I'd like the grain to all look nice going around the outside of the drum. They're not perfect, but I have a little bit of slop built into the process because after I glue it up and then mill the outside of the drum, that's when I square up the top and the bottom. And so it's okay that these aren't all perfect. It'd be nice if they were all perfect. It'd be easier if they were all perfect, but with the tools I've got, especially without a jointer and a planer, boy, those would be nice, wouldn't it? I gotta make do with what I got.
Can we take the pot roast and make it into Philly steak sandwiches?
Yep, sure can.
Okay, and then
come here, buddy. Need me to help you? So it's been a day and a half. The glue has fully cured. If it hasn't, there's a big problem. So here we go. Step 1, remove the clamps. Step 2, remove the paint or the tape. Step 3, I'm going to fill all the holes with CA glue. like the little cracks, the little flaws. Instead of using resin, I'm gonna use this. It's thinner, I shouldn't get bubbles, and if I'm lucky, it'll be just as tight. Experiment, we'll see what happens. I mean, how bad can it be? Alright, so we're going to try out filling one of the voids. So I'm going to try that, and then that will be the end of this video. I'll pick up with the milling down of the outside and inside on the next video. Actually, I should be able to get the shell finished on the next video. The milling process is pretty simple, and so that'll wrap things up. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. See ya.